What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Montana State Bobcat Dynasty on NCAA Football 06. Today we've got the offseason. After going 9-3, we finished the season with a bowl game, so I guess technically we finished with a 10-3 record, and we're looking to capitalize on what will hopefully be Larry Stevens' last season. I'm really hoping he doesn't end up going to the pros. You know what? Let's just jump into the offseason and find out what we can expect going into year 10. Alrighty then. Unfortunately, as you can see, Larry Stevens is going to be headed to the NFL as a junior, and Jason McMillan's going to the pros as well, so all of a sudden kicker becomes a need for us. I was not expecting that. Two more players headed off to the pros, our first quarterback going there. Let's quickly recap what he did in his 3 seasons with the Bobcats. 30 touchdowns, 28-26. He kind of gradually seemed to get worse statistically, but he has a lot of potential. Kind of reminds me of a Jordan Love kind of a player. A ton of potential, but a very raw player. He's probably going to have to sit behind someone for a couple of years. He could be good. Jason McMillan, of course, he was a walk-on kicker. He started off real slow. It's not even showing his freshman stats, but 15-16 this last year. He hit every extra point. These guys aren't going to be going to the NFL. A lot of these guys are just there for depth. Chris Joseph was a guy who was a solid backup. James Barrett, quarterback who actually had really good speed, 87 speed actually, but we never really used it. Not the most accurate guy in the world either. Harris is moving on. Cedric Davidson was a solid backup on the defensive line. I liked Paul Ridgway as a tight end. Martin Anderson is going to be leaving. He replaced Jake Munoz, and he did a great job at it. Receiver now becomes a need. Guy Gore, first team All Big Sky here. Last 2 seasons have been absolutely spectacular. Nick Brown, he was supposed to be so good. You know, he was an in-season recruit, and he kind of just fell off. Or, you know, he didn't live up to the hype. Brock Eugene's going to be graduating. He's a guy who I think could potentially have gone to the NFL, but I guess not. 13 interceptions and 5 sacks. A heck of a career here with us. Will Johnson's going to be going on. So we're going to be missing our fullback. James Green will not be headed to the NFL despite playing some real good football for us. Neither will Dante Washington, a great center. And Marcus Kirkpatrick's going to be graduating as well. Holy cow, we got some big holes to fill this season. Here's a look at our recruiting class. For whatever reason, a couple of these players, despite us being pretty high on their lists, don't want to play football, or at least play football here, which is pretty unfortunate because I was trying to get one of these wide receivers, you know, because that's become a little bit of a need now. We did get some guys during the in-season recruiting. It's these 2 tackles and a quarterback. So Kevin Fuller, he's going to be starting this season as a true freshman. Brad Wheeler, 4-star defensive tackle, coming in to replace Nick Brown and hopefully play better than him. Freddie Hitchin is probably going to redshirt, but then we're going to have a need at free safety next season after I think it's Cameron Whitaker graduates. So thinking ahead there, Kevin Thomas will probably be redshirting as we got our defensive lineman already there. Nick Hardy ended up going to Oregon, as did Matt Washington. Are you kidding me? We didn't get any receivers. We also got another defensive tackle in PJ Morris, another defensive end in Joseph Pollard. We didn't get this center though. This kicker we tried going after, he doesn't come here. This other defensive tackle, we kind of gave up on him after it looked like we were getting some of those other guys. He goes to Portland State. We did get a center though in Albert Reed. We got a cornerback in Nick Fogel. We tried going after this free safety for a little bit, but we got the better one out of the 2 of them, so I'm okay with that. Another defensive end, and then finally a backup quarterback in Daryl Burns. We've got some training results in. Shannon McBride is one of the most improved players, going up to an 86 overall. Demth's a breakthrough player. He is just a freshman, but a 74 overall, going up 6 points. That's real nice. Sean Key went up 6 points. He's a backup tight end. Our punter, he got better. Paul Washington goes up 5 points, so he actually might be the guy that comes in and fulfills our need at wide receiver. He's 6'5" and also has the best jumping on the team, so some pretty nice jump balls could totally be going his way. Justin Moore, he's a 92 overall now. Fantastic offensive lineman. Manny Phillips is an 86. Cameron Whitaker goes up 4 points. Jimmy Kent's an 82, so he is ready to be thrown into the starting lineup. Brett Garrett, he got better by 4 points. Same goes for Kevin Orts. Blake Hayes, he's up to an 82 overall. Ben Collins is an 80. Pat Hadley is an 80 for his final season. Perry is an 80. Kraft is an 80. Weaver is a 78. Same goes for Tyron Manigat. Nugent's a 76. Foster. Vince Robinson, he's up to a 90 overall now. Mario Harris is an 87 overall. Lee Mullins, backup quarterback, he's a 65. Kyle McDaniel's a 65. Terrence Davis, 62. Let's see, what else do we got here? Larry Lane goes up 2 points. That's nice to see. Max Lloyd also goes up by 2. Teshi Schroeder's an 84. David Pope is an 84. Isaac Witcher's a 78. Alexander is a 78. Brad Boyd is a 78. And Curtis Brown goes up 1 point as well. Here is how our depth chart currently looks. Kevin Fuller, he's going to be rocking number 2, and he's going to be the day 1 quarterback. Vince Robinson, impact running back. Obviously, he's going to be starting with Tyron Manigat and Brad Boyd behind him. Manny Phillips will be our fullback. Larry Lane and Curtis Brown will be our number 1 and number 2 receivers, with Paul Washington currently lined up in the slot, and then Aaron Martin there at number 4, and then Hayden Turner, a walk-on receiver, as the number 5 wide receiver. Ben Collins starting tight end with Sean Key behind him. Offensive line, things get a little bit messy here. Shannon McBride is going to be playing left tackle again. Left guard goes to Adam Weaver. He is second team Big Sky for some reason. If you look at his stats from last year, though, he had 1 pancake and 0 sacks allowed. So we actually don't really know if he is that good or not, but a 78 is solid. Currently, Vincent Dautry will be starting at center. He is a tackle that we got during the in-season recruiting, but we don't really have a good center. We just got one, but he's like a 68 overall. I'm going to be trying Dautry out for at least the first few games. If it doesn't work out very well, though, things can definitely be moved around on the O-line. And then the right side is pretty normal with Dave Pope and Justin Moore. Pat Hadley, 80 overall going into his final season, and Mario Harris opposite him. Brad Wheeler's a 72 overall right now, and he's going to be our starting defensive tackle with PJ Morris and Kyle McDaniel behind him. Jimmy Kent starting at left outside linebacker, Jesse Schroeder at middle linebacker, Darren Perry right there with him, and then Max Lloyd on the other side. Kevin Orts, 82 overall cornerback. He's going to be the number 1 with Brett Garrett at number 2. Eddie Fine playing in the slot. Isaac Witcher, number 4. And then Cole Hurd, number 5. Cameron Whitaker starting free safety. Travis Kraft will be the strong safety. Gabriel Fields, a walk-on kicker, only a 68 overall, but he could definitely improve. Then we still got our punter, Larry Burley. He's a 68. Larry Lane and Curtis Brown will both be handling kick and punt return duties, with Fields handling kickoffs. Well, once again, we are still inside of the Big Sky Conference, and I'm going to be changing things up this season. I'm going to be playing these first few games. Unfortunately, the schedule kind of screwed it up, so we're only going to have 3 out-of-conference games before jumping into conference play. But I think once we get into conference play, I'm going to combine like 3 or 4 conference games at a time into like one video and just show a bunch of the highlights. Because honestly, it's gotten kind of boring playing the same teams over and over in the exact same order, and I'm not sure if we're ever actually going to end up moving conferences, but I still want to compete for a title. But for your guys' sake at least, and probably my own too, just kind of cut things down. I don't think I'm going to sim any of these games, but just play them and then only show you guys the highlights and whatnot. That way we can kind of just quickly get through this season and become a contender. But I think I will have individual videos for each of these other games. We're going to start off this season by going to Cal. It's going to be real tough. They're ranked number 2. They just won the national title on a Hail Mary walk-off touchdown. It was absolutely insane. So we really got our work cut out for us in week 1. Week 2 should be a little bit easier as we're going to be hosting Army. Then we have a bye because the schedule, like I said, kind of screwed us over. Then we're at currently number 20 ranked Virginia. We are currently ranked number 23 as you see. Before we do conference play, then they're going to give us Notre Dame middle of the season. It won't actually let me remove them, and the only opponents available are Notre Dame, Florida, and Temple, and all of them, they're like, oh, they have to play a certain amount of games. So we're going to have a pretty early bye this season and then have a non-conference opponent halfway through before picking up again. I might, Brawl of the Wild might be its own video just because that's a pretty big rivalry there. But outside of that, I'm going to try to fly through some conference play, and hopefully we can eventually move conferences. I'm not actually sure if we can, just based on some comments I've gotten. But at the very least, compete for some kind of a national championship. Now to redshirting, we're going to be starting off with this quarterback that we just got. Really, he's a backup, 59 overall. Might as well redshirt him considering there's 2 other backups behind our new quarterback now. We're also going to be redshirting one of our new offensive linemen, Corey Johnson, because currently it looks like Daughtry's going to have to be starting at center for us. We also got 2 of the pass rushers that we just got. They are going to be redshirting because Pat Hadley and Mario Harris are still here for their final seasons. And also we're going to be doing Nick Fogel here at cornerback, as well as our new free safety, Freddie Hitchin. And that's going to put a wrap to another offseason. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the ADF, kind of just, flying through the season and hopefully getting somewhere. And hopefully we can kind of spice things up a little bit with the conference play. Won't be as dull and repetitive as it has been in the past. Also, the last few seasons, they really have been very much copy and paste, it feels like, where we go on some kind of long winning streak. And then either at the beginning or end of the season, we really just stumble. We lose 2 or 3 games in a row, and that puts us in the 20s in the rankings, and that's how it's been during the entire Larry Stevens era. So hopefully in this new era of football we can do a little bit more consistent winning. But yes, if you guys did enjoy it, leaving a like would be awesome. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But until next time, this has been Jeffrey reminding you to stay moist.